Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. 2 months ago I did a video on using coffee grounds as fertilizer for the lawn, and I told you that I would give you an update. So I'm going to start at the back of the yard, which is, well, let's say it has suffered a lot of abuse under my care. So to be honest with you, I do not water the back lawn at all. I did so initially in the spring, but then because of the amount of work that I'm doing in the backyard, I decided not to bother because I am actually wrecking the yard. As you can see, this spot here, I had a lot of lumber piled there, and so the grass there died. And then I do a lot of cutting in this area, so the grass is pretty much covered with sawdust. And in this area where I had lumber stockpiled as well, I have a lot of, what you call that, dandelion growing underneath. But then the areas where I'm not doing much work is looking better. The lawn is a bit thicker, but as I said, I am not watering it, and it has a lot of weed in between the grass. So my plan is for the backyard, sometime in the future I want to take all of this out, the entire backyard, and reseed it with grass. It does look a whole lot better than it did last year. And that one time in the video when I show you where I was adding the coffee grounds, that is the only time that I've added any fertilizer to it. And it is looking better than it did last year. I'm seeing less patches, but it is still not what I want it to be because it has a lot of weed in between. I still have this patch here up against the concrete. My little girl think it is funny to go there and dig for dirt. I am getting the yard cleaned because if you remember the last video I did, there was just material everywhere. Most of the material you see down there is what I am using to make my worm farm and a potential fence for the storage area there. So it is looking better, but all of this will have to go definitely by another year or two. I cannot say for this year. Definitely I know I won't be able to do anything with it this year because of all the stuff that I have to get done. I have to put the most important things first. Now I'm taking you to the front of the yard, and I don't know if you remember the amount of patches that I showed you in that video. Here, as you can see, this was a bald spot, and grass is now growing in it, but not as fast as I would like it to. And the grass around the front here is getting a lot thicker than it was the previous years, but it's still not where it needs to be. I need to rake it as well because it has a lot of dried leaves in it. This I water maybe once each week. It still has a long way to go, but I have not collected any coffee grounds since the lockdown, so I don't have any coffee grounds to give it another boost. Not yet anyway. I'm thinking of going back pretty soon to start collecting more food scraps and coffee grounds. And then here is another bald spot, and this is the problem with bald spots. They tend to have more weeds, but I can see that grass is growing in between it. So slowly but surely it is coming on. I still haven't had a chance to aerate it yet, so I am working on that. And here is another bald spot, and grass is now growing in it, which is good. If I get the chance to aerate it this year, then I think I'm going to be putting some grass seeds in to make the process go a little bit faster. And this spot here, you see how bald it is? It does have a little bit of grass trying to grow, but the reason this front lawn is not looking much better is because I got very frustrated, because within a week of me putting the coffee ground on the lawn in order to improve it, my husband started parking vehicles on the lawn. So we have one vehicle that a friend left here to be repaired, and so it has been sitting on my lawn, and then he started parking his vehicle on the lawn as well. So I got fed up and I stopped taking care of it, but then I decided no, I might as well maintain it, or it will become difficult the longer I wait. So hopefully we will be able to get rid of this vehicle off the lawn pretty soon. If not, then so be it. And this spot here that is bald had a vehicle parked there for years. I wish my husband had parked this vehicle in this exact spot, because now I'm gonna have a bigger dead spot in the yard than if he had parked here where it is already dead. I'm not very happy with that, but circumstances does not allow us to park it anywhere else. And with the trees above and the vehicle parked here, there is not much sunlight that this side of the yard is getting, which means that the chances of it improving much is very small. And this right here is a big ant's nest that has been there since we moved here. So I put cornmeal there. A lot of them have left, but I think in recent times they have returned. It is pretty hard. It is so unsightly. And after putting the cornmeal here to get rid of them, they decided to move away. But they did not go far. Instead, they created another unsightly nest right here. And the grass is trying to grow up in between it, so I need to put some cornmeal on it to get rid of it. But I must say that overall the grass is a bit thicker than previous years, and it is a bit greener as well. So I'm going to continue working on it to see if I can get it to be exactly like I want it to be. And then I'm going to show you the spot where I said it looked as if it was a grave when we first came here. So this is the spot that looked like a grave when we first came here. I know it's not, but that's how it looked, is that's the shape that it had. So as you can see, grass is now trying to grow in there, and some weeds, but the size of it is shrinking. But I think in order to get grass to actually grow properly in here, I'm definitely going to have to aerate it, because the soil here is pretty hard. So that is the goal, maybe for next year, because I don't think I'm gonna have the time to get that done this year. Anyway guys, that is the update on my lawn. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you're new, please turn on your notification after you have subscribed. And I hope you have yourself a wonderful day.